Labour term. And in particular, I'd like to thank Rosie, Tom, and Jim for being such great ministers and such great colleagues over the past year. Conference, I hope you'll forgive me for departing from my text for a moment. As you may have heard on the news this morning, this will be my last time addressing you as a member of the Cabinet. I told Gordon before the summer of my decision to leave the government for family reasons at the next reshuffle. This was not a decision that I took lightly. I was still in my 20s as Labour was given the honour of leading the country. All my children were born under a Labour government. The past 15 years have been an amazing and at times humbling experience. But I've been particularly proud as a minister at the Treasury to be able to take through our proposals on the Child Trust Fund, at education to continue opening up school choice for parents, at communities to have had the opportunity to recast our policies on violent extremism and devolve more power to local government. In transport, I was delighted that it was Labour that secured the deal on Crossrail. And Conference, it's been a tremendous privilege to have worked with both Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, two towering figures in the Labour Party, government and on the world stage. But Conference, as well as a frontline politician, I'm also proud to be a mother and a wife. And to have been able to hold these jobs, I've relied on the support of my husband and my family. So I ask for your understanding when I say that I now owe it to my children and family to take a step back and to start putting them first. If I do not, then I know that that is something that I will come to regret deeply. And Conference, while we've not agreed on every issue, I'm enormously proud of all that we have achieved together over the past decade. And I am confident that Labour has the values, vision, and determination to see this country through difficult times. There are some who claim that there would be no difference between a Conservative and a Labour government. But Conference, tell that to the pensioner using her free bus pass, not just in her own neighbourhood, but now right across the country. Tell that to the young mum who can now rely on a brand new bus service to take her to the local shops. And tell that to the commuter who is now benefiting from newer, more frequent and more reliable trains, the biggest investment in capacity in a generation. Conference, never again must we allow the Tories to take the axe to our vital public infrastructure when economic conditions get tough, as they have done time after time after time. To slash investment when the country enters a time of economic difficulty would be reckless, short-sighted and irresponsible. So that is why the government will stay true to its commitments on Crossrail, on Birmingham New Street, on Reading and right across the country. And we must continue to be ambitious for the future and to put in place the right long-term framework to deliver affordable investment in transport. So Labour will develop options for a rolling programme of electrification of our railways, potentially the largest programme of electrification in our history. And I have asked Network Rail to consider the case for new railway lines if passenger numbers continue to grow in the future. And if we need new lines, of course we should be asking the question whether they should be high speed. And conference, we all know that in the current climate, with high food and fuel prices, getting good value for money is more important than ever. So I've been working to help rail passengers by ensuring that fares are simple, fairly set, fairly sold, and yes, readily available. And conference, I can assure you that the lessons will be learned from the failure of the XL Tour Company, so passengers can feel more secure when booking their annual holiday. Conference, on Sunday, I was privileged to take part in a ceremony naming a train in honour of Barbara Castle, one of the great Labour women of all time. She was fearless in her determination to improve the lot of working people, full of courage and conviction, never afraid of taking the tough decisions, of doing what she thought was right. I admire that. The real test of the character of a politician or a party is how they deal with difficult times and unpopular decisions, not just the easy ones. And in transport over the past 18 months, there have been both. We all cherish the opportunity to visit friends and family abroad, catch up with loved ones, or take a well-earned holiday. But if we want to maintain those hard-won opportunities, I truly believe we must be brave in challenging those who would ration flying and make it once again the preserve of the rich. If London is to thrive as an international centre, supporting the UK economy by providing good international connections, then it needs a hub airport that has sufficient capacity to serve all the regions and countries of the United Kingdom, as well as the emerging economies of China and India. Now, conference, Boris may find his Fantasy Island airport a useful device to distract from Tory divisions on Heathrow. I call it politically opportunistic, economically irresponsible, and environmentally disastrous. Conference, we must always be the party prepared to take the tough decisions, to do what is right, not just what is popular, to be the radicals in politics. So I congratulate Sir Richard Leese and the Greater Manchester authorities for their ambition, recognising the problems that congestion causes, and being prepared to argue for a congestion charge backed by a step change in public transport to ensure that Manchester remains a world-class place to live and work. It is seeing strong leadership in action, as we have here in Manchester, that has convinced me that we must continue to devolve powers to local communities. I'm proud that from this autumn, councils will have new powers to plan bus routes, fares and frequencies across their borough. Powers opposed by the Tories every step of the way. And because buses are a vital lifeline to many in our communities, I'm delighted to announce today an extra £25 million to kickstart new bus services in both urban and rural areas. Conference, this week, we have set out a compelling vision for the future of our country. This party, the Labour Party, will continue to invest, to inspire and to lead, because Labour's values are rooted in the conviction that by investing in our nation, we are investing in our future. This is the greatest of parties, which has fundamentally changed Britain for the better since 1997. It has been the greatest honour of my life to be able to play a part in that. I'm leaving this stage today, but I will be with this great party all the way in the battle to keep improving our country. We can and we must do even better. And conference, I will be with you in our great mission. Thank you.